What's up, everybody? It's Dan Bryles, Daniel Envy, or Big Dan, and today we're doing a little AVID podcast for just some advice for school and just general life things. And so I'm Dan, as I introduced in the beginning. I do a lot of music stuff. I have like a little music collective called the Nobodies, and so in that I basically like produce music, sing, rap, pretty much everything. I do like all genres except for like country music, but yeah, and a lot of it's experimental, but it's really fun. So talk a little bit more about myself, some hobbies that I do. I don't know if this is kind of in the prehistoric ages, but kendama, I was always pretty enticed with that. Video games, I used to do like esports and stuff. I haven't been doing that much recently because I've been working full time, but yeah, pretty adventurous and all that. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with some advice for school. And it's actually it might be pretty cliche advice, but and me, out of all people, my biggest pet peeve is like cliches. So but yeah, it's just to like stay organized. People, you get this from every teacher and every person at the beginning of the year is like, stay organized. And at the conferences and semesters and quarterly, all those things, everyone's like always reinforcing the idea of being organized. And it's really, it's stressed a lot, but it's kind of not like enough. I feel like a lot of my middle school and like high school career, I was pretty unorganized, and there's different elements of being organized too, because you can have like a really nice neat folder or binder and have everything like labeled and still not technically be organized, because you could look over in your bag and you have like thousands of papers randomly, or maybe you're not like mentally organized, like, oh, I gotta remind myself this later, or I have like some sort of sport after and I gotta bring this to that sport, so there's just a lot. And high school and in-person school and online or whatever you do, it's a lot. It can be. So things that I remind myself with, or like things I use as reminders, are just reminders on my phone, or I'll put something on my calendar. This is kind of maybe a weird thing to you, but I like text myself different things, not like having full-blown conversations, but like I'll remember something and be like, oh, I'm totally gonna like forget this later, so I'll type it in and like make like a little list and like text it to myself so I can later look back on it. And I think that is very helpful for school, and I don't know, just if you remember something in general. But yeah, so staying organized is very, very important. Writing stuff down, notifications on my phone, and then texting myself. And there's all sorts of ways you could do it. You could do post-its, so basically like a physical version of what I was doing. Actually utilize your planner. I know when I used my planner and like genuinely commit to it, it was pretty helpful. So I do recommend that for sure. All right, and then this is about like classes too. So this is for people that are not already a senior. I would say pick classes that you enjoy. Like seriously, really pick classes that you enjoy. Don't let people like pressure you into like making your schedule what other people want. Like seriously, do the classes you want. I didn't, it was kind of a lot, but I didn't do like a single study hall throughout high school. But I got like the experience that I wanted pretty much. I still wanted to do more classes, honestly, but so I just highly recommend to pick the classes that you enjoy, the things, or even if it's something out of your wheelhouse, like just try it. Maybe you'll find a new niche that you really like or really enjoy. I know a lot of those industrial tech classes, it's not something that I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to go to school and do that. Like, or I mean, like some of it definitely, but some of it is like out of my wheelhouse. Like I'm not like a mechanic type person, but like I love woodworking. But I would have loved to go back and like try that stuff, because it's very intriguing to me to like learn that like physical, like hands-on stuff, and it's super useful for like real life situations. But yeah, and shout out to Dietz, he's awesome. He's just a really cool dude down there, and did a couple classes with him, did game design, and then the behind the wheel stuff. He was really cool. So yeah, pick classes that you enjoy. And then also, I would consider clubs and after school things. I definitely did not do enough of those. I would always be one of those people that's like, all right, I'm done with school. Now I gotta race home as fast as I can to take advantage of whatever it is I did. And I ended up just pretty much chilling most of the time, or I don't know, lounging. So, you know, it's not bad to be occupied. It's not bad to have like regular plans after school. And I was kind of under the impression, or I made myself under the impression that like, oh, I just had to race home and get out of here, get out of Dodge, and just have some downtime. And like, you still get downtime, obviously, because the club isn't gonna last all evening, but for a sport. So yeah, definitely look into those. I know there's a Minecraft club. I don't even know if they like actually partook in that, but if people did that, but I would have loved to really commit to that. That would have been fun, just chilling after school, playing Minecraft with friends or something, doing whatever they were supposed to do in that club. But yeah. And then, yeah, well, also with the club thing, if there's not a club that like interests you, you could just straight up make a club. Like my buddies made like a Magic the Gathering club, basically, and they just went into one of the pods in one of the penalty boxes. Man, I've been doing online this last like year and a half, so it's been kind of nuts forgetting a bunch of things. But yeah, the penalty box, they would get a bunch of people and play like Magic there, and they just made a club and got a teacher that was like vibing with the idea, and then put it together. So if there's something that isn't a club and you have like a group of friends that would love to do something, then they could definitely do something, and then you get like a whole room or whole penalty box or pod or whatever you would need for it. I remember right before the COVID stuff happened, I was, you know, and it doesn't have to be like with your AVID classmates either. I did a thing where I was making, I don't know if you know this, but at the middle school, there's an after school thing to work on homework and study and have like a whole little like study hall basically, and they have like snacks and stuff. But me and a couple of my buddies from my AVID class, and then even a guy who wasn't in AVID class, James, or Jimmy, he's awesome. I love that dude. We were working on basically an after school Oasis type thing in the library for the high school, because the library would close really early and it never really was enough time to like grind out any major projects. And I felt that the school was in like dire need of some sort of after school studying type area. So we were working on that with the librarian, the new one, and that was, it was going in the right direction. It was going to be a success. And I don't know, I hope that it's carried through with. I don't know if they did that because I started doing online fully, but you know, you could just straight up be like, yo, teachers, let's do this, and then go ahead and do it. It just takes action. It just takes planning. So just be a leader, or if you're not a leader, get a buddy who is, and just go with it. It was actually super enjoyable, like just going through and like planning all of this and doing stuff with the principal. It was super cool. But yeah, and then speaking of teachers, you got to enjoy your teachers, like class clown, freaking whoever you are, like just enjoy your teachers, you know. They're here to help you, and it might sound like silly or obvious or whatever, but I'm not saying you have to be best friends with all of your teachers that you have, but just don't be a goober all the time, or I don't know, maybe you're like a quiet kid or something and you're just kind of reserved, you know. I was kind of, I don't know, I talk to everybody, but sometimes in like certain elements I would be kind of like quiet and reserved. But I made like best friends with certain teachers, like Miss Myers, pretty cool. I've known her since like an eternity because she taught at the middle school, and then Childers is amazing, and then Sewanee too. So yeah, you just build like healthy relationships with your teachers if you vibe with them, and it helps you a lot with your like the rest of your high school career, or like even if you're like a senior, like still try to do this with teachers that you're comfortable with. It's super awesome, because I just got like my graduation thing and got some like notes from some of them, and it was super cool. So yeah, enjoy your teachers. And then so it makes school much more enjoyable. So now I'm kind of done with advice for school. Now I kind of have like a little bit of advice for life, because like I said, high school can be a lot. Or not even like the things that partake in high school, but just life during high school too in general, like inside and outside. My first thing is to just breathe. Like you've got time. A big thing with me is I'm always like, oh, once I get to this age, I'm gonna have this freedom, and I'm gonna have all these things. And life doesn't always work as planned, and that's not always a bad thing, obviously. Sometimes it could be the exact opposite. You could think something's good, and then it like happens and ends up being like one of the worst things in your life, so you just kind of gotta roll with the punches and just keep on plugging through life. So yeah, you've got time. If you're like, oh my god, I gotta be a millionaire by like the age of 20, I mean, you could do that, definitely do that, and plan to do that. Try, like, manifest that. But if it's like not ending up like that, it's not the end of the world. Like, you still have so many options, so many chances, so many different paths that you can't even see or perceive, that you can still go down. And I promise you that. Like, I've experienced that firsthand with my music, with business aspirations, with school, with life, with love, family, all that. So yeah, like I said, you got time. Don't stress about time. A lot of regret can come with that, and like I said, you just gotta work through it. Also, you've got people. It may not seem like it, and people may not deliberately reach out and be like, oh, do you want help with this? But that's like I said, where it takes action with you is if you're struggling with something, if something's not to your liking, then use your resources, use your people. Kind of like how I was with the club. I was trying to work on some huge project for like a Lutz class type thing, and it would have been awesome to have like that after school oasis type thing. So what did I do? I got a group of people, and we started working on trying to make that happen, that situation, that group thing happen. And in the long run, that isn't just benefiting me and them, it's benefiting all of the rest of the school body, and so on for years to come. So, and it also gives a good environment for teachers if teachers were to stay there at the same time too, because they would at Oasis. But yeah, so you've got people, and like I said, if it doesn't feel like you do, you probably still do. You gotta find them, you gotta secure that. But yeah. So also pursue what it is that you want to truly do. Do not, I don't care about if it's like your family, your parent, your guardian, your best friend. You have this one life. You got to do what your vocation is, what chooses you. Follow that. Like, seriously, don't let other people be like, oh, you gotta take this class, and then once you take this class, you gotta do like the AP version, and then you only can go to college for this specific thing because you did that AP thing. Like, no, like, you want options, like, you don't want to just get stuck in this one thing and then realize you don't enjoy it. That's why, like, for so long I've been intrigued with business and entrepreneurship, and making my own business and marketing, and how that involves like psychology and all this different stuff. So basically just business. And I've wanted to do that since maybe like 6th grade. I've wanted to go to school for business, and I'm still kind of just like going slow into the next step of education. This has been like my dream, and I'm still just slowly going into it, making sure all my ducks are in a row. Another cliche. But yeah, seriously, like, don't be pressured by people or friends or people just in general, you know. You gotta live life for you and do what is magnetic to you. Like for me, I said business was an aspiration. There's so many things I want to pursue. Like, I want to do music. I'm huge into music. I've been wanting to do that since before business stuff. I remember when I got like my iPhone 5C back in 5th grade, and I was like doing random DJ type things, and I had no idea what I was doing, obviously, but you know, I knew that it was fun to me and I enjoyed it more than pretty much anything. So you just got to figure out what that is. And if you don't know what it is, you know, try stuff. Like I said before, try different classes, try different clubs, try different activities. And then, so different things that I want to do too is like acting. I have no idea what a like actor's life looks like, or what you even do to like prepare for that, or like filming, like directing and all that. Like, I have no idea all the things that a director does, but you know, the idea of it is so fascinating to me. It sounds cool. And like, same with astronomy, you know. Neil deGrasse Tyson, an astrophysicist. I would love to do like what he does too. I mean, these are a bunch of huge, big things, but you know, you don't limit yourself to one thing. And then YouTube, I think, would be really cool, and just different types of art. Maybe get into like painting or like digital arts. I already do like photography, but yeah. So breathe. Everything's gonna be okay. Get your ducks in a row, figure out your aspirations, find the people nearest and dearest to you, and stay close with them. You know, they'll help you guide through life, school, and wherever you want to go after that. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for this. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope you took something from this. Big Dan Bryles, Daniel Envy, plugging the world with positivity. And yeah, bye-bye.